You're watching the TC MMA podcast.
As we work our way up into fight 3, you got Romious 8-2, American, taking on Michael Imperato, who's 12-6, Canadian. So that's pretty wild. A 12-6 guy gets an opportunity here. This fight goes down in the bantamweight division. So let's get into it right now. In the bantamweight division at Dana White's Contender Series, you got Cortavious Romious taking on Michael Imperato. I like this fight setup. Romious 8-2, Imperato 12-6. So he does have this is USA versus Canada, but Imperato has a lot of losses outside the UFC. But he stands 3 inches taller at 5'7". Romious, on the other hand, is 30 years old, 68-inch reach, fights left-handed. Landed 14 significant strikes in his one fight in a UFC setting. 14 per minute. It's pretty wild. In his 8 wins, he's got 2 KOs, 5 submissions. Right, and that fight came against Ramon Tavares. He lost by TKO, but he was throwing a lot of punches up until that point. So, he should have been going for takedowns instead of, you come into the Contender Series and you try to land a KO to get the contract, but his game is submissions, and hopefully he can get back to that in this fight. He came back against Eric Foe at NIF MMA and landed the armbar submission to win that fight. Now, Imperato, in his 12 wins, 9 submissions. So that makes the submissions for his opponent even tougher. Do you really want to go to the ground with this guy when he's got, he finishes 75% of his fights by submission? But he has 6 losses, 2 by KO, 1 by submission, 3 by decision. He did lose in April of 2023 at PFC by decision. He came back and beat Ricky Bandejas at Unified MMA 55 by submission. This is a tricky one and a very tricky fight for Cortavious Romious, but I gotta believe that this guy is going to find a way to win. Both guys are capable of landing submissions on the ground, but Romious does have experience in this setting. He only has 2 losses, and I think that experience is going to pay big dividends in this fight. I look for Romious to get the win by submission, although it's going to be tough, but in my opinion, that's what happens. He'll move to 9-2, bantamweight division, Dana White's Contender Series. Yeah, tough angle here, especially since both can go to the ground. The fight's headed to the ground. If someone gets KO'd here, I'm going to be very, very surprised. And when you got 2 guys that are capable of going to the ground and landing submissions, anything is possible. So you're going to see some great grappling in this one. Not always a fan favorite, but if you're a diehard fan, you don't mind the grappling every once in a while, especially when you got 2 guys that can submit their opponent and they're fending off submissions and they're both, going to be maneuvering around to switch positions and all that. So it's going to be interesting from that perspective. Will it be enough to get him into the UFC? I think it will be if they can get the submission, because Dana White understands the game and how hard it is. It's easier to go up against a striker who has no takedown defense skills and shoot right in for the takedown, but this isn't the case in this one.
He's gon' fight, he's gon' fight, hold your breath till the end of the night. Last fighter call, UFC at its height, bringing that thunder with all his might, saying step up, wanna fight, hold up, think twice, gladiator assassin, reckless, no abandon, walk through that cage, he'll leave your ass